Every entrepreneur dreams of the freedom of business ownership and the 4-hour work week and scaling to 7 or 8 figures or having a business that runs without you. Well, I'm not here to burst your bubble and tell you that it's all a myth, but I will tell you that the process of scaling a business has to be very well thought through, and most importantly, it needs to have the right timing. I'm Christina, and I help hardworking entrepreneurs save more time, stress less, and rediscover the enjoyment of working on their business. Seriously, I do this for a living, so I've seen firsthand what scaling a business too early can do to your business. And it's all because of this pattern. You outflow like mad to get a few customers, then you stop outflowing in order to serve those customers, and your pipeline dries up because you've stopped paying attention to it. Cash becomes tight, maybe you lose your existing customers, and then you start over again and outflow like mad and repeat this entire cycle. Well, hopefully that's not you. The thing is, before you even think about scaling your business, you need to have a proven concept first. Most people choose to focus on the wrong things when they've just started a business, like opening a legal entity, hiring staff, or scaling. But the truth is, scaling should be an activity bred out of necessity. You should already have a consistent and predictable way of gaining new customers before you think about scaling. You should already be consistently outflowing, ideally raising the number of outflows per day, increasing ad spend if you've been spending on ads, and gradually increasing your activity, not decreasing at this point. Every entrepreneur tries to delegate everything on day one without having a clue how to do it themselves. This is a massive mistake, which is why scaling, system, delegation, all that stuff is step number 5. It's not step number 1. You have to go through being the guy or gal who does everything themselves to learn it and make it work. Because then you are authentically creating demand for a new hire because you literally cannot handle it all. That is a good thing. Assuming that you now have a following and a list, hiring is going to be so much easier. And also you can properly hand things off and manage them because you now know what working looks like. So yeah, at first you're gonna start off as being the guy or gal that's wearing most, if not all, of the hats in your business, and you should be documenting all of your processes as you go through them. Let me explain a little bit. Everything in your business is a recipe to create a result. Everything you're doing on a daily basis in your business has a recipe to it, and that recipe needs to be documented step by step. Your job is to begin writing and recording these standard operating procedures. Once you've got these and there is enough demand in your business for a new hire, you're going to start systematically offloading some of these hats that you're wearing. Now, my advice to you, especially if you don't have a lot of experience hiring, delegating, and managing, is to only delegate one of these hats at a time. So you start off by baking a cake. Then you write down your recipe for the cake. And then you hand over your recipe and make sure that the guy or gal that you've hired can bake the same cake as you did. Then you step off and you make sure that they can still bake the same cake. Scaling is all about management and eventually hiring other people to offload the management too. But you cannot manage someone if you don't know what the end result needs to look like. So offloading a process completely can take up to 60 or 90 days because you don't just hire somebody and then you just go check out, right? You have to make sure that their numbers match your numbers. So to give you an example, if you had a sales script that leads to a 20% close ratio, or your fulfillment model leads to a 90% customer satisfaction rate, let me give you an example. So say you had a sales script that leads to a 20% close ratio, or your fulfillment model leads to a 90% customer satisfaction rate. And the person that you've hired, they're following the same scripts and the same processes, but they only get a 60% satisfaction rate. Well, that tells you that something is wrong. There is some part of the recipe that they're not following. And you are able to know this and to tell early because you already have your baseline metrics for what this process of yours should perform like. So at first, you're going to keep your finger on the pulse pretty tightly and check in pretty often. And then you're going to start checking in less often, so long as the numbers still make sense. And at some point, if the person works out and your training and feedback is solid, you're going to be able to extract yourself more and more from the process until you're completely removed. And that is the point where you can go and offload another hat off of you and go through the same process all over again. Yes, it'll take some time. You know the old business advice, hire slow and fire fast? Well, I haven't quite made up my mind about the firing fast part, but I'm definitely on the hire slow wagon. And for several reasons. One being it keeps my profit margins high. It gives me more control over the entire process, and it is also less chaotic and less people running around like a kitchen without its head all around, right? That's it for me today, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye!